Today I bring you along with me on the South Shore day trip. It's a full day out, leaving at around 7:45 in the morning and returning at 6 p.m. The theme is essentially Iceland's natural wonders, with glaciers, waterfalls and volcanoes on the menu. First stop is the modern lava centre. Good morning, it's Sunday and it is my last full day in Iceland, so I'm doing the South Shore tour. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning and it's pretty good. We're at the lava centre and it's great because we were basically the only people here, so there's a full busload of us. It was nice and spacious. Watched a video about volcanic eruptions, some of which have taken place pretty close to here, one right next to the Blue Lagoon where we were yesterday. So that was quite interesting. It's got a nice shop. It just feels generally quite nice and pleasant. It's got a roof terrace as well, where you get some cracking views of the volcanoes and glaciers in the local area. So yeah, so far so good. I think it's going to be quite a long day. I think it's something like 10 or 11 hours, but the start of it has been good, and I think the other stuff we're going to do today sounds pretty exciting too, so I'm sure it will pass quite quickly. I think we're due back at the bus now, so I'll love you and leave you for the moment.
If I wrote you a song, if I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem? If I posted a
So we have apparently 473 steps to get to the top. I think we'll give it a go. Oh my god, I'm not going to lie, that was pretty tough getting up here. You can admire the waterfall from the bottom, so if you're not especially fit or enthusiastic, probably worth doing that. I'll go and check that out once I've got down. But the view from up here is spectacular, so if you do make it up, you are rewarded. There's several places to stop on the way up if you need to catch your breath. It's quite busy, but there's enough room for people to get up and down comfortably, so you probably won't, feel too scared by it. You can get a closer look from this platform. It felt nice and sturdy to me, but if you're a bit faint-hearted, it may not be for you. Then it was back the way I came to see the waterfall from below. So we've been given about 40 minutes here, which is about 35 by the time we've actually made it off the coach, and it is a little bit tight to get up to the top and back down and then see it from below, so this is going to be a little bit rushed. I also want to try to crack into my croissant because it's going to be a little while until lunch, I guess, but we're not supposed to eat on the coach apparently. I might be just nibbling it subtly, but let's quickly go and see this waterfall. So this bit does say don't enter because of icefall. As you can probably tell, I'm not the only one. I've not ventured very far, but it's pretty spectacular here. Got vanilla in there, and the other bit, chocolate bonus. So we've now moved on to a glacier, and despite the fact that it's a glacier, it's actually the warmest moment of the trip so far. You'll note no hat, no scarf and no gloves. I think that's basically because the wind's dropped and the sun's out, so absolutely gorgeous at the moment. The walk up here is pretty straightforward, nothing too onerous. It's a bit rocky, so you need to make sure you don't trip over that, but nice gentle walk. I think it's about 750 metres, Interestingly, they did say that that's the amount that the glacier has retracted in the last 10 years, so that's pretty staggering if you think about it.
Not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do. Tell me you're the one for me now. I pray that you believe it too. That you're the only one for me, and I'm the only one for you.
It's nothing quite like a endangered natural thing being plundered by reckless tourists. There's nothing to tell you can't do it, but I just thought common sense would, but maybe that's just me. Worth knowing that there are some toilets in the cabin behind me at the glacier if you need, but they do charge. I think they're 400 ISK. I'll do a quick calculation as to how much that is, but it sounds quite expensive to me, so I think the next stop is about half an hour away or something like that, so I'll give it a miss, but it's good to know that they're there if you arrive here and feel the need. Incidentally, every other stop has had free toilets as far as I'm aware, so just something to bear in mind. It is well serviced in terms of toilets on your stops. So yeah, not something you should be too worried about. So we stopped for lunch in the coastal village of Vik, which is I think one of the southernmost points in Iceland. There's a few restaurants and cafes here. I'm quite keen to explore a little bit of the area, so I nipped into the local supermarket, picked myself up a sandwich, which I will hopefully at some point on this little walk around, and some juice. There's also a shop selling Icelandic knitwear, which I'd be keen to look at, but I don't think I'll get time. So yeah, just have a quick explore, stretch the legs, get some fresh air, and it does feel quite fresh here on the coast, and see what Vik has to offer. Not got very long here, as I say, but just see what I can find really. So it's not necessarily quite what I expected. There are some pretty old buildings behind me, and found a bench, so I think it is time to crack into my vegan sandwich, some crisps I bought from home, washed down with a goji berry drink. Let's see how that goes down. I didn't think I'd be sitting outside having my lunch in Iceland in March. I thought I'd be hunkered down. And yes, it is cold. I'm wrapped up. I'm not planning to sit here for very long, because I suspect I'll chill out, like literally, if I stay stationary too long. But even if I only make it like 5 or 10 minutes here, it's actually very pleasant. Got some quite nice views as well up the road. There's an old church, and we've got these old buildings here. There's also a maritime museum across the road. Won't have time to check any of that out, but at least I've seen it. I did manage a quick scoot through the shop on the way back to the bus, but not long enough for me to have a proper browse and part with any of my Icelandic krona. It's worth knowing that you can refill your water bottle at the supermarket. Then we travelled the very short distance to what became my favourite spot on this tour. There's a traffic light system to indicate how dangerous the waves are at any given point in time, and it was on amber alert when we were there. Nice quiet beach this. Actually, if you stroll like, I don't know, 50 metres in the other direction, it is, and I will do that in a minute once I've had a look at these columns and the sea stack. So these waves are pretty epic. Just moving away from the crowd so that I can get a better look at them. I will try to set this up so that you can hear them, because the sound is, well, it's just like roaring. It's quite amazing, but this is great. I'll try to show you the black sand as well, but I'm not sure that the video will pick up just how black it is. And if I just actually pan round, so we've got the sea and the columns there, a cliff that's got loads of birds on it, and if I keep going, I'm not sure the camera will pick it up, but we've got glaciers and mountains in the background, and then a rock, a massive rock with a hole in it, that used to be an island but is actually connected to land now. So everywhere you look here there is something really interesting to see. These waves are immense. I'm going to try to get some footage of them. Moving a little bit further back from the sea, because that wave just did actually come in quite far, and apparently they are deadly. People get swept out to sea, never to be seen again, basically, because they're what are known as sneaker waves. So they like literally sneak up on you, and I don't think you'll get a sense from the video just how huge and epic these waves are, and I'm not going to do justice to them with my descriptions. I'm terrible at describing things at the best of times, but it is worth doing this trip for this alone, if you ask me. I like a beach and I like a wave, so I'm probably biased, but it's phenomenal, really phenomenal. Iceland just keeps on giving. Like I said before, it's crowded back there by the basalt columns and the sea stacks, understandably so, because it's really picturesque. But if you want the place to yourself, just like 2 or 3 minutes walk in this direction away from there, and okay, you've not got it to yourself, but there's basically 2 people in front of me and a couple of people behind me, but you can just wander to your heart's content, not bashing into people and, you know, not all vying for the same picture. So it's, if you like striking away from the crowds, you can definitely do it here. Waves are giving it some again. Let's try try to show you this sand, but I don't think you can really see just how black it is, and it's quite shiny as well where it's wet. So yeah, needs to be seen to be believed. Now, a bit of practicalities while I'm heading back to the bus, somewhat reluctantly, because I could watch these waves for maybe not hours given how cold it is, but certainly longer than we've had here. There is a restaurant here and toilets. Apparently they do charge for the toilets, but again, if you need, it's good to know that they're there. And apparently if you use the restaurant, the toilets are free if you buy a coffee or get something to eat. So yeah, once again, it's well serviced. It's awesome here. It really is. Like, you're gonna get tired of me going on about this, but this beach is something else. The waves, I'm sure when I look through the footage it just won't capture the enormity of them, but they are intense, and the sound of them, it's just a constant roar. So it's great. Sorry if I'm up and down, but the sand is all wavy, which is quite attractive. It makes it hard to walk in a straight line when you're talking to a camera, but yeah, this is well worth doing. So behind me is the Seljalandsfoss waterfall, which is our last stop of the day, I believe, on our way back to Reykjavik. It's the famous waterfall where there's a cave behind it and you can walk behind, which I was quite looking forward to doing, but as you can probably tell, it's quite iced up today and probably has been for some time, so that's not happening today. And given that I'm usually rubbish at walking on icy paths, so that's probably a good thing. There are actually 4 waterfalls here. There's the big one there, and then there's 3 more that way. We haven't got that much time here. We probably could get round all 4, but I thought let's not push it. Let's go and see the biggie. You can see the other smaller ones from a distance, and I think that'll do for today. But if you did have longer, it's probably what, a 15-20 minute walk, something like that. So it would be worth doing. The other waterfalls are, as you'd expect, a little less popular, so everyone rushes to see the main one, but then there's like maybe 20 people walking around the other ones. So yeah, if you did have time to do it all, it looks like something worth doing. There's a kiosk here if you want to get a hot drink, there's some souvenirs, and there's also free toilets. So, would I recommend the South Shore tour? I think if you want to get a good overview of Iceland's epic landscape, it's a really good option. For me, the Black Beach was amazing enough to make the trip worthwhile just on its own, although the other places were also really interesting too. My only gripe would be not having enough time in each place, but that's totally understandable when they're trying to fit in a variety of different interesting places into a single day. It was already a good 12-hour trip, so it couldn't have lasted any longer and been sensible. If I could only do one excursion out of Reykjavik, this would be the one I would choose, so yes, I would definitely recommend the South Shore tour. If you've liked what you've seen, why not check out the rest of my Iceland playlist? And please do consider subscribing, because it really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching!